This is the Moshpit Backstage podcast for punk, metal, and rock interviews and segments.
Hello everyone, this is Björn Speed Strid from Soilwork, and you're listening to the Moshpit on Sin.
Björn Strid, also known as Speed, is the vocalist of Swedish melodic death metal band Soilwork. Welcome to the Moshpit, Speed.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So, last time we had you on the Moshpit, I'm not sure if you even remember that was early last year. Do you have any recollection, or you've been through too many interviews?
There's been a lot of interviews for Australia, like the latest 2 years. But, you know, when I saw the name, when I saw Moshpit Radio, it looked familiar. But I can't remember the actual interview.
Maybe I'll have to link it to you. So now, last time we had you on, in early 2015, you were promoting your live DVD. So since then, you've released your 10th album, The Ride Majestic, and now you've got a collection of rare songs called Death Resonance. So even after 20 years, you still feel energized?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's, you know, we did the DVD. It didn't take that much work, you know, because it was basically just us being on stage and doing what we do. And then we had people, you know, mixing it and putting it together. All we had to do was collect some old pictures and to put in the booklet. And then we started focusing on The Ride Majestic and put that one out. That was, you know, pretty rough recording session. We had family members passing away while we were recording the album, but it turned out really good. And then I think that the Death Resonance thing started with, you know, the fact that we released an EP called Beyond the Infinite a couple of years ago that were basically leftovers from the Living Infinite recording sessions. And we released it exclusively in Japan. So I guess we pissed off the rest of the world. And so that's how it started, because I don't know, we didn't expect that people would get that much into those songs, but people seem to love them. And so, yeah, that's how it really, you know, started with putting this disc together. But to answer your question, if I feel, you know, energized, and I do. And I think the whole band does. You know, to use an old cliche, it feels a little bit like a new era, you know, because I think we've definitely found something new musically, you know, with the Living Infinite and also the Ride Majestic. Awesome.
So now, it's not just that EP that you released in Japan. So there's also, am I right, a collection of songs? There were, you know, some B-sides and also a couple of new songs.
That is correct. Yeah, I mean, so when the idea came together with releasing Beyond the Infinite, we thought, you know, we have so many other lost tracks and, you know, other tracks that were, you know, just released as bonus tracks in Asia. So we put that together, and plus we had two brand new songs from the recording sessions of the Ride Majestics. We compiled them together, but it was also important for us that it was going to have a little bit of an album feel, so it's not like leftovers thrown out there, you know. And so we remixed most of the tracks and remastered everything so it would have that kind of flow. And I think it's, you know, it's pretty interesting listening to all those songs. And it's sort of showcasing how we develop as musicians and songwriters and everything. So it's interesting even for us, you know, to listen back.
Now, for songs that you know, often never make albums, you know, B-sides and all that, so a lot of bands, they say, you know, it's not necessarily that the songs were not loved, they were just, you know, maybe cut for time, or maybe they didn't fit with the theme or the style of the album. Would you say that's true with some of those so-called leftover tracks?
I would say so. I mean, there's some of those songs I haven't heard for 10 years, you know, and I remember, like, when I wrote the song Martyr, for example, that was for Sworn to a Great Divide, I think, and it ended up being a bonus track, which I was kind of bummed out by. But it was sort of, it didn't really fit in, and I understand now why it didn't, you know, and it's sort of progressive and it's a little bit out there, but it's a great song, and maybe it actually fits us better now since we've turned pretty progressive, you know, if we compare the Living Infinite and the Ride Majestic compared to Stabbing, which was pretty much straightforward and pretty much the same with Sworn to a Great Divide. So I think it fits us better now. So it makes more sense maybe to release it now. I don't know, but I'm just happy that it's getting released for everyone to hear, because I really like most of those songs. So it's cool.
Awesome. Now you've got 2 new songs written for this compilation. You've got Helsinki and These Absent Eyes. What can you tell us about those 2 songs?
Well, These Absent Eyes are actually a leftover from the Living Infinite recording session. So the brand new songs are the title track, Death Resonance, and also Helsinki. So they are both taken from the recording session of the Ride Majestic. Those tracks didn't make it on the album because, that's a very good question. I'm not quite sure why they never made it, but it's a matter of finding a flow on an album, and sometimes it just doesn't fit in, and you can't really, describe actually why. But I think those are really cool songs, and I mean, for example, the title track, Death Resonance, there's almost like a Pink Floyd break in the middle, and then it's almost full on black metal, which is sort of interesting, and it makes sense. It's not thrown in there just because. So I think that gives you maybe a little bit hint of where we will take our sound in the future as well, because we have a way more playful approach to songwriting nowadays, and I think we've grown as songwriters. So it's a matter of finding a good pace in the song, and also be really playful and also sort of spontaneous, which makes it so much more fun.
Are you going to play any of the songs from this compilation live, or maybe you've already been doing that?
We have not so far. We've been thinking about maybe doing one of the new tracks and maybe one old. But when that's going to happen, I don't know. Possibly on the North American tour that we're going to do in mid-October. That might be something.
Have the fans been requesting specific songs to be played live off this compilation, or is it maybe one of those things where you don't want to play I guess rarities, because a lot of the fans who may go to your shows, may, I don't want to say the word casual, but they're more familiar with your greatest hits, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been tracks. I know that people have been talking about Martyr, and also Wherever Thorns May Grow, ever since Stabbing and Sworn to Great Divide was released, and people found them on YouTube or whatever. So that might be something to consider. But I mean, we've had, because there's always going to be so many requests from fans. He's like, why are you not playing that song and this song? So we had a poll a couple of years back where the fans got to choose the songs that were going to be played live, and it's like here you go, it's up to you, choose. And it ended up number 1 was Stabbing the Drama, that we always play anyway, and it's pretty interesting how that works out. And it was all the top 10 tracks we already had in our set list, so it's pretty interesting how that works as well.
Were there any surprises in that poll? Say any rarities in that poll? Any underground?
I believe there were, but I can't remember exactly what songs they were. But there were a few surprises. Maybe we should have taken those in consideration, actually. But it's never too late, I guess.
So now, if we go back to your 10th album released late last year, The Ride Majestic. So what was the reaction to this album from the press and of course from the fans, and I guess when you play them live as well?
I thought it was really good. Maybe people were a little bit surprised about the intensity that runs through the album. I mean, we're definitely not slowing down. We're one of the few bands from that genre that started out in the same time, and especially from the Scandinavian scene, who are definitely not slowing down and almost becoming more intense than our old days, which is mostly not the case with other bands. So I think when we played the songs live as well, I think we're really well received from the crowd as well. And I think it seems like media also loved the album, for sure.
Can you recommend us any bands that you're listening to right now? Of any I guess any punk and metal bands or hard rock bands you're listening to right now?
Well, I should promote some of the local bands that we have here in my hometown. Sure. There's a young band called Cronus. You can probably find them on SoundCloud and maybe Facebook as well. It's a great band, and they're around their 20s and fantastic musicians and songwriters. And it's probably one of the best bands that I've heard coming from Helsingborg, you know, and it's really cool to hear that there are still so many metal bands coming out, you know, and when you walk through the corridors of the rehearsal room, I mean, there's like hundreds of bands rehearsing there, and most of them play metal, which is cool, you know, so I hope we had some impact on the scene, you know, and inspired some of those bands. But you know, I think people should check out Cronus. It's a fantastic band, and I think they will have a great future.
Have you been listening to any Australian bands lately?
I mostly listen to when it comes to Australia, it's mostly like classic rock. It's going to be Little River Band, which I love, and I also love Crowded House. I really do. But as far as new stuff, I mean, Dead Letter Circus, I mean, they're pretty cool. I heard the latest album. But as far as, like, extreme metal, I haven't been really, like, I'm not very, like, updated on that, you know,
Guess you
genre.
should check it out then, I think.
Yeah, I should.
Now, you lost your longtime drummer recently to Megadeth, so how's that affected things?
Well, it was I would say that it was a pretty smooth transition after all, because we already had a session drum player with us for the European festivals, because Dirk was just supposed to fill in, you know, in June for Megadeth, and then Dirk recommended his drum student and sort of protege, Bastian Tusgaard, has been filling in, and he's been doing really, really good. He's only 24 years old, but he's fantastic, and you know, personally, you know, like the personal chemistry is really clicking as well. So I think it's been really good. But obviously, it you know, put us in a little bit of a sticky situation when Dirk was announced as the full-time drummer of Megadeth. You know, and I sort of expected it. I expected Megadeth to pop the big question after all, especially after I saw them at Sweden Rock Festival. It sounded fantastic with Dirk behind the drums. So it was expected in a way, and you know, but then again, we have Bastian, and he's nailing the songs, and I'm looking forward to create something new with him as well. I mean, we haven't announced him as the permanent drummer, but quite frankly, I don't see any reason of trying out another drummer, because we really click, you know, on a musical level and also on a personal level. So we'll see.
Thanks so much, Speed, for coming on the show, and yeah, I know it's morning where you are, so I'll let you go and just enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you so much. Nice talking to you.
Thanks for listening to the Moshpit Backstage podcast. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and Omni. To find out more about the show, go to www.syn.org.au/moshpit. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/moshpitonsin, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at moshpitsin. The regular Moshpit radio show broadcasts punk, rock and metal tunes and interviews every Thursday nights on SYN 9.7 on FM and digital radios. Listeners outside of Melbourne, Australia can stream SYN 9.7 online at www.syn.org.au. Thanks to Vintage Ruin for the music.
Hi, this is Tomato from Flashgun Apocalypse.
Hi, I'm Enid from Girls School.
I am Phoebe Pinnock from Heaven the Axe.
Hey, this is Gary Oldmead of the Misfits.
Hey, this is Kat Sproul from Horizon's Edge, and you're listening to the Moshpit on SYN FM.
Hi, this is Einar from Leopard.
Hi, I'm Virginia Lilly from the band Lily.
This is Raul from 1349.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ali from Zebrahead.
Hey, everybody, this is Charlie Benante with Anthrax, and you are listening to the Moshpit on SYN.